Hi, and welcome to Turner Truck and Tractor. I'm Les Turner. We're in the shop today, and what we are working on is the ever popular Harbor Freight Predator 3500 inverter generator. And what I'm going to be doing today is changing the oil on it, showing you how I do it, pass along a couple of tips and tricks, and hopefully you can incorporate it and it'll make the job easier if you decide to do it too. So thanks for joining. Let's get started. Right, everyone, here's a quick overview. This will really work on any type of generator or small engine out there at this time. One of the benefits of changing the oil is longer life. Once you've got a couple of hours on a new machine, it would be a great benefit to the durability of the engine and long life if you change the oil. And what that does is get the metal particles out of that first pour of oil and potentially give you a longer life and service in that engine with fewer breakdowns. Give you a quick overview. We've got the generator. We'll need a 10 millimeter ratchet, and we've got an extension on it and a wobble socket on the end, a funnel. We'll need some motor oil and a couple of tricks I will show you at the end. Of course, since I'm doing it, you will need some paper towels and of course a white shirt, so I'll make sure I get some on it. And a place to pour the oil. What I've done, most of the time you would do this on the ground, but since I have it on the workbench, I have it lifted up where you can gain access to underneath. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. All right, this is where the drain and the fill are located and where you would also check the oil. So take this door off and we will set it aside, and I will give you a look in there and hopefully you can see it. The orange item is the dipstick, and the drain plug is right below. And it has a little plastic filter on it, and then it also has the base right here where it has a drain plug door. And I don't know if you can see it. Here's a rubber flap, and make sure that's pulled aside. And we will go ahead and put our drain pan right underneath there, and that will catch our drippings. All right, now that I have the drain flap or plug in the bottom removed and the drain pan underneath, we will go ahead and get that 10 millimeter bolt out of the block to drain the oil. I've got my ratchet extension, and yeah, I was able to find my 10 millimeter socket. I already loosened it up a little bit because it was tight from the factory. So we will go ahead and lefty-loosey and take this out. So hopefully I've got it loose enough I can do it by hand. All right, we're getting close and we're about ready to pull the plug and drain the oil out. All right, here we go. And one thing you can do on any engine when you pull the drain plug, you can take a look at it and see what it looks like. Of course, this is clean. It should be because it's new with just very few hours on it. So we will set that aside. And you can see the oil pouring out just a little bit there, and you can see it filling up the pan right there. So we'll give that a moment. It's about 90 degrees here today. If it was below 50 degrees, I would recommend run the engine for a few minutes and warm it up before you drain the oil. But since it's so warm today, that's really not necessary. Of course, don't get it so hot and let it give time to cool off that you don't burn yourself on anything, so keep that in mind. And so we will let this drain and I'll get right back to you. All right, and we are back. Thank you for your patience. What I did is went ahead and let the oil drain into this pan, and once that got done in about 5 minutes, I cleaned off the drain plug and screwed it in by hand, and then took my ratchet and just snugged it up. You do not want to over tighten it in that magnesium block. If you do, you're in a world of hurt and your troubles just began if you strip out those threads. So just make sure you snug it up. Now let's start talking about what we're going to fill it with. Here is my first tip, and we are going to use AMSOIL Z-Rod motor oil in a 10W30. And just for transparency, I am an AMSOIL dealer, and I will put the information below if you are interested, but do not feel obligated in any way. My big tip and recommendation is find any oil or additive that has the ZDDP in it. What it is, it has additional zinc in it that has been taken out of modern oils. And for these older style engines that have flat tappet cam followers, it prematurely wears when it does not have that oil additive package in there. So this is a specialty oil. They're not on every shelf at every big box store, so you do have to look for it. But by doing so, the benefit to you is it will stop premature wear on that cam and followers, and your engine that you invested in will last a lot longer. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take the dipstick out, just like this. Take a look at it, set it aside here, and I'm going to go ahead and set up the funnel and get the oil. Be right back. All right, we've got the funnel in, and this funnel came with the generator, so appreciative of Harbor Freight for including it. It's a small funnel, but with a long tube on it to reach. Here's the motor oil, and factory recommendations is about 16 ounces, or I'm sorry, about 20 ounces. So we will fill it up about 3/4 of a bottle here, and we'll stop periodically and check to see how we're doing. Okay, we've got the generator filled up. This is a 32-ounce bottle, so it's got just right under 12 ounces remaining, so that's about 20 ounces used as it recommends. So for my next tip, we will go ahead and remove the funnel here. And let's look at dipsticks. I ordered one, and it is a magnetic dipstick compared to the genuine plastic of the original one. And the hopes of this is any metal shavings that may occur will be trapped and contained on this dipstick, and then you can wipe it off and clean it and monitor your oil condition as you go. And as you can see, it does have magnetic ability. So make sure it has the gasket on it, and we will go ahead and install it. And that looks pretty good. And now that it's in there, you can wipe up any residual oil that you may have in there. Make sure everything looks in its place and cleaned off. And then we will go ahead and reinstall this access door by putting the 2 tabs in there. And put this thumb screw back in its place. Okay, make sure you check the oil level a couple of times and validate that it is up to the correct level. And now that we've done that and we've got the oil filled door back installed, we are going to take our used oil and we're going to be responsible, and we are going to put it in our used oil container. And what I do with that is take it for recycling later on. All right. Now what we're going to do is take this generator and put it back on the ground, and we'll give it a test run. We have moved it where we can safely run it outside, and we'll go ahead and give it a start here. So we will put it on start and hit the button. Everything looks good and sounds good. So we'll let that run for a couple of minutes. I just wanted to say thank you for spending a little bit of your time out in the shop with me. Hopefully that oil change proved to be beneficial in one way or the other, or at least somewhat entertaining. So since we've got a job successfully completed, we celebrate our victories. And I appreciate you and your time. Please like and subscribe below. See you later.